So if you have been failing your hazard perception test and you've done it once and twice and 3 times and name it, and you haven't been able to pass it, now there are two main reasons why you've not been able to pass. So let's try and get through this and break it into two parts. Now, the first thing, either you don't know what you're doing. Now, this is the first main reasons why a lot of people fail. You have no clue. You're just clicking and tapping, and you have no clue what you're doing. That's one. Number two is actually that you know what you're doing and you're just too fast for the computer. It might not make sense, but I'm going to show you how and why in this video. So if you're like me and you're so good with this thing and spotting hazards ahead of time, or you just have a good eye for details, or your observation skills is just good, then maybe you're just too smart for the computer, and this is why you are failing your test. So the fact is that I drive in London every day and I know the dangers on the road. So every time I see vehicles approaching to a junction, I keep my eye on them and prepare for any change in their speed or movement that might need me to take a course of action. So let's look at this example video. Now remember, as you watch the clips, if you see anything that you think is a hazard, just click. It doesn't matter if this is actually a potential hazard in the end or not, you won't get deducted for this. Now watch the learner car approaching the junction from the right hand side. Right at this point is where I spotted this car, so I click, but the computer doesn't start counting down the mark up until it gets to the junction and stalled. So the computer only started giving you points after the car had stalled, which means if I didn't do another 2 clicks after my first click, I would have scored 0 for this clip. So luckily in this case, my last click was actually the one that counted, which was still within the 5 mark. So let's look at another clip. Now on this clip, this time around, the computer countdown started exactly when I actually spotted the pedestrians approaching the junction. Now I still continued with my second click, because then if my first click was not counted, then my second would, and that's the one. So I call this my insurance click. Now let's look at the third click. So at this point in this clip, I can see a parked vehicle ahead of me in my lane with the boot open and a pedestrian standing behind it, which at that point I know this is a potential hazard. But the computer highlights it as a potential hazard, but yet doesn't start giving you mark until it turns into an hazard. So the point here is, when you spot a potential hazard, do your first click, 1 second later click again, and if that object or person changes movement or direction, do another click again. And that's what saved me here. Now it only started counting when the pedestrian started moving. So I scored 4 for this clip because I luckily again did a last click when the pedestrian started moving. So let's look at the final clip. Now this time, this was a busy road in the city, so I spotted a zebra crossing ahead, and as soon as I spotted a zebra crossing, I looked around and I can see 2 pedestrians walking fast towards the crossing, and for me that's a reason to take a course of action. So I did my first click, but again, as usual, computer hasn't started yet. So let's look at this coming up. So from this point, I can see the crossing. So immediately after that, I noticed the pedestrians and I did my first click. Now, if you notice that even the computer highlighted this as a potential situation, even at the point I clicked, but yet I did not get marked for it. And the marker countdown only started 3 seconds later, which is when I did my second click, luckily. So on this occasion, I got 5 mark for this clip, because again, luckily, my second click was right on 5. So my third one would be ignored. So remember, as soon as you spot the hazard, do your first click. 1 second later, do another click. And then maybe 2 seconds after that, do your final click. I mean, you cannot go wrong with the 3 clicks. But remember, don't click your way out through these things, because then you're going to get 0. Be tactical with it. First click, 1 second later, another click, and in 2 seconds after that, do 1 more click. So all in all, I normally do between 2 and 3 clicks for most situations I spot. And that way, you're either going to get between 5 and 3 max. And this has been my experience with the hazard perception video. So use your app and do practice using the techniques and see if this actually works for you. If this works for you, please don't forget to leave a comment below so that other people can see the videos, and don't forget to share the video if it actually helps you. Like, and remember the most important bit, please click the subscribe button, because I'm going to be posting more tips to help you with both the practical and the theory test. Good luck and stay safe on the road.